guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you some of my indoor plants and how these indoor plants helped me divert stress into leisure, and how these plants have helped me not think so much about COVID. Welcome to Ang Seb Wonder. Guys, just a quick chika to all of you. I started petting plants or taking care of plants around April. Cooking was my first activity or leisure activity during the pandemic, and after that was this one, taking care of plants. So there are a lot of things that you can do during the pandemic, especially at home, and things that can actually help you not stress yourself out, especially thinking so much about COVID. I know that mental health is very important nowadays, and all of us in different economic status are not prepared by this. We were not prepared by this. We are learning to be prepared by this, and on the way we are already adapting to what we call as the new normal. We just can't imagine that other people are also struggling on their own. They also have their own struggles and their own battles. Others don't know how to cope up with stress. So that I hope that this video will also help you divert or convert stress into leisure. Please don't stress yourself. We are all affected by this. Not just you, not just the people around you, but all of us, not just here in the Philippines but the whole world. This video, I'm going to show you one by one the different indoor plants that I have bought and took care of myself, and sharing you some tips on how to take care of them, how to water them, how to propagate them. So enjoy, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting and more fun videos. So guys, the first plant that I'm going to show you is this Potus Plant. So actually this plant is one of the 3 plants that I first bought, including here is supposed to be the watermelon peperomia and the calathea, but unfortunately the watermelon peperomia died first because I think the culprit for that is our room temperature. We are actually living upstairs with 2-story house. Another family is also staying there on the ground floor, where my husband and I are staying here. We occupy the upper floor. And since during the months of April and May, it was very, very hot, and most probably the peperomia died because of too much warm air, warm temperature in our house. So watermelon peperomias are supposed to be they can survive in temperatures 16 to 24 degrees Celsius. So that's just normal room temperature or room with air condition, so that's very ideal. And this one has survived. This has survived for months already, and I'm very happy because lots of growths have already shown since the day I purchased this. So it has vines, it has grown vines already. So if you're asking what happened to the calathea, it has also survived, but right now it's dying because I think I have had it overexposed to indirect sunlight. Okay, so this one is a Potus plant. This is a vine. This is a hanging plant. It crawls up or it crawls down, and actually this plant is considered as a beginner plant, very ideal for beginners like me. So for those of you who are planning to pet plants or are planning to take care of plants, so you might as well have Potus as your first plant, because one thing is for sure, these plants are low maintenance, meaning to say you don't need to look after them every day. You don't have to water them every day. You don't have to check on them every day, or you can check on them, but not that much. One of the indications that these plants need to be watered is the leaves. So the leaves can actually talk. So if the leaves starts to droop, when you say droop, meaning to say like a sad, yung para siyang matamlay or not as standing as this. Okay, so if the leaf starts to droop, that means to say the plant needs to be watered, or the plant is already thirsty. But if the leaves are like this, standing and very vibrant, then you don't need to water this. And another indication that it needs to be watered is the soil. Okay, so the soil, when you check the soil and the top layer of the soil, at least 2 to 3 centimeters or inches, 2 to 3 inches of the top soil is already dry, then you need to water this plant already. So I water this plant every 2 to 3 days or every other 2 days, depending on the moisture of the soil. Okay, so there are people who don't like hanging plants, or people who don't like plants like this. They grow stems and they grow vines. Actually, this plant is very nice to look at, especially when there is already stem growths. Okay, especially when you put this in your shelves or your bookshelves, this can add to the color and attractiveness of your shelves. Okay, so if you don't like your plants to grow stems like this, so you can cut this one, and the leaves that are there on the stem can be propagated through water. So I will show you what my water propagation that I also watched from YouTube, how to water propagate pothos. Okay, so you will have an idea how to propagate this one in water. Okay, so this plant is actually a variegated plant. Okay, so one of the things that attracted me to pothos plants and all other indoor plants, it's because of their foliage. Okay, so notice that their foliage, their leaves have variegation. So you call this one variegation. When you say variegation, the leaves have two or more colors. So you can see here you have green and yellow. Okay, so there are plants also that are not variegated. They're just pure green or all green. But pothos plants are generally variegated, and I love these plants because it has grown a lot. And one of the things that make me want to take care of them more is because every day when I check on them, when I look for new growths, so I can see 2 to 3 new growths of leaves, and it makes me happy. Here, okay, so this one has just grown for about 2 or 3 weeks, okay, and it has grown a lot. Okay, so this is my pothos plant. Okay, so another group of plants that I want to show you are these Sansevieria plants, or popularly known as snake plants. Okay, so you can see that they look like snakes. The leaves look like snakes, and I have 2 variations. This one with yellow sides. These ones also don't have yellow sides. They're just pure green. Okay, so I also got these from the marketplace, But this one, I got this from a co-teacher before who is also selling, and he saw me that I was into indoor plants, so he contacted me and offered me to buy one of his plants. So thank you so much, Sir Dante Aninion. You can contact him through Facebook. His Facebook is the Ants Tibor. Okay, so these three sets of Sansevieria plants or snake plants, I got this from the marketplace. It was sold to me for 150 pesos with clay pot already. So the owner was very kind and very generous as to not overprice these plants, and to think that it has already pots. Okay, so this has already grown also so much from the time that I bought these ones, and I'm very happy. Although I got really sad because some of the leaves, if you noticed, some of the leaves are having bites. These are actually rat bites. Okay, so we have rats here, and they kind of ate the leaves of these plants. Luckily, these plants are very hard to kill. Okay, so these Sansevieria or snake plants are considered one of the toughest plants to kill. So when do you water snake plants? So ideally, you can water them every other 2 days or every other day. Just don't water them too much. They are also good in warm conditions. You can also put them under the heat of the sun, under the direct heat of the sun or direct sunlight. They can also survive. Okay, these plants are very in demand in the market already because of its purifying effect. So these are bought because it has purifying effect. It can purify the air around you, the air inside the house. Okay, so all other indoor plants are air purifiers. Okay, these plants are also very easy to propagate. You can just leaf cut this one, and the cut out part, you can put that on the soil, and or water propagation also can be. Just wait for roots to grow. Okay, so these are again my snake plants. The third plant that I'm going to show you is this Chinese evergreen plant, or also known as the legacy plant. So I also got this from the same co-teacher that I mentioned a while ago. Okay, so you only water this once a week, and also you don't mist on directly to the leaves of these plants because they are not very good in taking mists or water on their leaves. So I noticed that when I had a few days of misting, I noticed that the leaves are getting yellowish or getting lata. So I asked Sir Dante if these plants are good for misting. So he said na just wet a cloth and wipe onto the leaves. So notice that the leaves are very shiny. Okay, so that's the effect of wiping onto the leaves. So this is again the legacy plant. Okay, another plant that I'm going to show you is this plant. This is called the Wandering Jew. Okay, so I also bought this from the marketplace. Actually, I joined lots of groups where there are sellers of different indoor plants. also succulent plants. I join lots of groups, and also these groups help me when you want to ask for advice on how to take care of the plant that you bought, or these groups also help you ID or make an identification on the plant that you have at home or the plant that you have bought. Others also give you advice on how to revive your dying plants. So you might as well join these groups. This wandering Jew is very in Bisaya, labong na gid siya. Okay, so I miss this every day. I also water this using rainwater. Luckily, it has been raining for days already, and we have stuck rainwater on one of the containers or drums. These plants, or the rest of the plants I have at home, especially those that I have shown you a while ago, I water them using rainwater. If you don't have rainwater, others suggest you water them using distilled water or filtered water, because the contents of a chlorinated water may affect the growth of your plant. Okay, so that's it. Another plant next. Okay, this next plant that I'm going to show you is called a Potus plant, or popularly known as Arrowhead. So this one is known as Arrowhead because of the shape of the leaves. Okay, so notice that the shape of the leaf is like an arrowhead. Okay, so this one, okay, so this is also very nice to look at indoors, especially when the leaves are very thick already. Okay, so this plant is also this plant is also has mild toxicity, so you might as well not let your children or your pets get in touch with the cuttings or the sap of the leaves, because it will cause irritation, skin irritation. Okay, so I love this plant. I just bought this last week, although I'm still learning how to maintain this. I've been asking the owner when to water this plant. I hope this will survive in my care. Okay, so the last plant that I'm going to show you is one of the plants that are mistakenly identified as a monstera plant. So actually, this is not a monstera plant. Okay, I will adjust so that you can have a clearer view of the leaves or the foliage of this plant. This is a Dragontail plant, or an Epipremnum pinnatum plant. Okay, so please do not mistake this as a monstera plant, because a monstera plant has a bigger foliage and a heart-shaped foliage compared to a dragontail plant. A dragontail plant is somehow elongated. You are kind of barrier that doesn't research first, then you will be fooled by sellers thinking that this is a monstera plant just because it has a perforation. Okay, this one is actually called a perforation, although it has the same perforations as a monstera, but please, this is not a monstera plant. Monstera plants are rare, that's why they are priced expensively. A monstera plant, especially the rarest ones and the ones with different variegations, costs I think 2,000 to 3,000 pesos. Okay, so this one, the Dragontail plant or the Epipremnum pinnatum, is very common here, especially in provinces. So please, if you want to buy, if you are first time buyer of indoor plants or plants like this for to add attractiveness to your home, please do research first, and so that you won't be fooled by sellers who take advantage of people who are into indoor plants these days. Okay, so I got this for 200 per cutting. So in one cutting, it has at least 2 to 4 leaves. Okay, so I placed this one in a clear glass with leca balls. Okay, actually, when I first potted this one in a soil, 2 days after, the first cuttings that I bought died. So basically their roots are area, so I think these plants don't survive when putting their roots in a soil. So I watched a YouTube on how to repot this one. The lady who performed the repotting was using these leca balls. Okay, so these are actually leca balls, or lightweight expanded clay aggregate. That's what leca means. Again, lightweight expanded clay aggregate. So this is a soil alternative, especially for aerial plants like orchids, or like this one, the Dragontail. Okay, so that's it, guys. Again, this plant is called a Dragontail or an Epipremnum pinnatum. So guys, these plants really have to make a lot of think of stress with the think of COVID. Okay, so every morning when I started having these plants, every morning my routine is watering them, putting them here beside the window after watering, so that they can get bright indirect sunlight. So I don't put them outside our house because there are a lot of cats that tries to play with the plants. So I just put them here inside our house, just beside the window, so that they can have indirect sunlight. Yes. Okay, so when you start to take care of plants, then you will develop routines that will help you get away from stress, or that will help you divert stress into leisure. So I hope this video can help you a lot, especially those who are struggling on how to cope up with stress that is brought by COVID. Okay, so if you like this video, again, please do give this a thumbs up. Thumbs up, baby. Thumbs up. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe for more upcoming videos. Bye everyone.